So in previous videos, you've learnt about candlesticks and their role in the financial markets. Now we take another step into deepening your understanding by looking at two specific candlestick patterns, pin bars and engulfers. Do not worry, I will explain what these candlestick patterns are in a simple and clear manner, so there will be no confusion, and by the end of the video, you will know exactly what you're looking for when it comes to trading with them. Let's get started. Now, before we dive into candlestick patterns, it's important to know that any pattern you spot in the markets is either going to be showing you a bullish setup or a bearish setup. And these may be terms you've not heard before, and to be honest, they're really simple to understand. Being bullish or bull indicates upward momentum, as you can see here. It suggests that prices are expected to rise. On the other hand, bearish or bear indicates that price is on a downward slope, where prices are anticipated to fall. Really simple to understand, but important to know when it comes to looking at these candlestick patterns. So now we understand that candlestick patterns in general will either be bullish or bearish. Let's look at the two patterns that we're going to focus on for this TST framework. The first one we're going to focus on are engulfing candles. Really simple to understand. I've got both examples here, bullish and bearish. Essentially what we're looking for is two candlesticks, one next to each other, but one of them completely engulfs the other, i.e. it's bigger than the other one. As you can see, this bullish example, we've got this red candle, that's our down candle, and then we've got this green candle next to it, and that essentially, as you can see, the body of that candle is much bigger than the body of the red candle. That's our bullish engulfing. Our bearish engulfing, just exactly the same, but the opposite. Two candlesticks, one next to each other. We've got our up candle here in green, and then we've got our down candle in red, which, as you can see, the body of that candle is engulfing the body of this green candle, and that's our bearish example. And our second one, our pin bars, slightly more complex, but again, really simple. Got two examples again here, bullish and bearish. Essentially what we're looking for is a long wick, either to the downside or to the upside. So in this bullish example, we've got two candlesticks, one next to each other. We've got this downward candlestick, but then the upwards candlestick, as you can see, was trading all the way down here, but then the buyers stepped in and it created this long wick to the downside. That's our bullish candle. That's telling us that buyers stepped in here. Bearish, again, two candlesticks, but this time we've got the up candlestick on the left, and on the right we've got this red candlestick. And what happened was, initially, you can imagine that this was what it looked like before. It was green all the way up here, but then sellers stepped in and created this wick to the upside, creating this smaller body. So we've got a longer wick than we have body, and then it's showing the reversal in the other direction. Now this all sounds great and easy, but there is a problem. You're going to feel like sometimes you're looking for a needle in a haystack due to how many of these patterns there are. This will make it difficult sometimes. It's far stronger to have an algorithm do that bit for you. Well, great news. How to Trade has an automated tool that can spot engulfing and pin bar candlestick patterns automatically, and it also tells you whether it's bullish or bearish. Before we continue though, I want to set you an exercise, as it's important to be able to spot these candlestick formations anyway. Pick any market you like and try and spot 3 pin bars and 3 engulfing candlestick patterns. Just mark them on your chart. Remember, always feel free to get in touch if you aren't quite sure about anything. We are here to help you, but if you did manage to do it, then great work. What I'm going to do now is show you how to get the Pattern Finder tool set up on your platform. So it's all automated for you. So make sure you've got your platform loaded up on your computer. Simply follow me. We should have the support and resistance tool set up already. So we just want to head back to the How to Trade website and then scroll down on the tools and the automation onto Pattern Finder and click download for MT4. Load up our documents and we should see that compressed zip folder there under Pattern Finder. Right click on that. Click extract all, then extract. And then this will open up the folder again. If you get lost, you can just click on the one here on your downloads, click on MQL4, then experts, and you'll see it at the top here, Forex Signals Pattern Finder 1.2. Copy that. Head over back to our platforms, File, Open Data folder. MQL4, experts, and paste that in. You can see I've already got one in there, but it would put it in there for you. Click X, down to the bottom, right click, then click refresh. That should load up the pattern finder tool at the bottom here. Now we can't put this on the same market. So if we just click this minimize button at the top and we just drag another market, think of the layout, we've got the pattern finder on the left. So we're going to drag a new market on. Again, we can right click and get rid of the grid and change the colors if you like. But click on window and then click tile vertically like this. And then we can just put that to the left hand side ready for the layout that we saw in the first video. Drag the pattern finder on. Type in our details. Click OK. And that will load up the pattern finder on this chart. As you can see like that, give it a couple of seconds. We can minimize that, make it bigger by just clicking on this square at the bottom here, but just don't click and drag, just click and move your mouse. And you can make it smaller, minimize it. And there we have it, our pattern finder. Now what this will do for us is scan the markets for engulfing and pin bars, but we have to click certain things. So if we tick engulfer here and pin bar, we want the 5-minute and the 15-minute time frame, or any of the time frames that we can basically select here. And if you just click activate scanning, that will scan all of the markets in your watch list for those particular patterns, and it tells you what pattern it is there, and you can view them as well. So you click on view and you can see that that's found us a 5-minute pin bar, a bit like what we just saw a minute ago. A 5-minute bullish pin bar, which is indicated by the blue arrow down. Let's try and find a bearish example. So the blue arrow underneath is the bullish examples, and you can see the red arrow. If we zoom in on that, there's a 5-minute bearish pin bar. Sorry, 15-minute bearish pin bar. The time frame's up there, and you can see what that's telling us to do with that red arrow up there. This will keep scanning the markets constantly until you click disable scanning. So if you're finished with it, do remember to click that. If you're finding that you can't see enough patterns coming through, make sure on this watch list you right click and click show all, because sometimes when you open up a demo platform for the first time, what will happen is you don't have all the markets on there, you only have a select few, and it will only scan what's in the market watch list. If it will scan forex pairs primarily, but if you did want to add anything else, you can go onto Expert Advisors, right click, go to Expert Advisors, click Properties, and you see under the pair list here, you can add, say, commodities on there, but it must match exactly what's in the watch list here. So let's say, for example, we wanted to add the S&P 500. Make sure we've got no spaces, just a comma, then click US 500, if that was what it was, and click OK, and then make sure it will refresh for you, and then it will scan for that as well, so you can add commodities and stocks onto there. Now, the important thing is when we use the pattern finder tool, we want to use it in conjunction with the support and resistance tool. And what I mean by that is if, say, for example, we're going to find some patterns here, we've clicked activate scanning, we view that pattern first of all, and we see that, okay, it's a bullish pin bar. It's no good to us unless it marries up with support and resistance. And what I mean by that is it needs to be, if we're buying the market, it needs to be in and around a support area, and then we can target a resistance area. So let's say, for example, we're on sterling versus the New Zealand dollar. Let's just find that market. Drag that over. And there we go. You can see that, right? So where that pattern was down here, we're actually trading right around the 4-hour support. So if we was looking to buy the market as per the pattern, we're going to be buying around this support area down here and targeting resistance areas, the next resistance areas up. And it's the complete opposite if you were selling. If it's a selling pattern, we want to be trading, or the market to be trading around a resistance area so we can then target support areas. So now I'm going to show you how to set up the EA tools for MT5, starting with the pattern finder. We are working on the support and resistance for MT5 as well. Starting with the pattern finder, go over to tools on the website, click on automation. This will load up our tools, and then download for MT5 on pattern finder. Then simply what we want to do is load up our documents, and then you can see the download pops up here. If you right click, extract all, then extract. That will open up the file for you, but if you lose it, just go over to your downloads and click the file folder here. Click through until you find the pattern finder tool and just copy that for now. Then we want to load up our MT5 platforms. Go over to File, Open Data Folder. Go over to MQL5, Experts, Advisors, and then paste that in. When that's pasted in, click that away, and you can see at this bottom left-hand side, you've got the navigator where our expert advisors are, and we just make that a bit bigger and we can see. Right click, and then click refresh, and you will see the pattern finder has just loaded up there. Drag that over to an empty chart. Make sure we've got allow DL imports ticked, and also make sure we've got allow modification of signal settings, and then head over to inputs and type in our username and password for the website. Just a quick tip, try to avoid using special characters. We've had some issues with people using special characters in their password and it not loading the tool. So if that is the case, just reset it on the How to Trade website. But click OK, and then wait for that tool to pop up and load onto your screen, like so. And there's our pattern finder all set up and ready to go. If you find as well that it's not working, make sure if you click Control O, what we want is you may have this ticked. It may look like this. We want allow DL imports ticked, and we want to untick these two here where it says disable algorithmic trading, and then click allow or algorithmic trading. Just make sure that's ticked before we do anything. That will load up, make sure it loads up properly for you. Understanding these candlestick patterns will help you become more confident in the markets. Of that, I have no doubt. It is essential though to combine these patterns with the support and resistance tool, because it creates more of an edge. That makes the story of the market clearer, that makes our life easier, and you should now have both of those tools set up. By doing all of this, you're close to having the full triple screen trading suite at your disposal. There's just one more tool to dive into, and it's the most important one, the risk management tool. Let's move on to that right now.